All right. Yeah, tough to really dissect that one. There's always that urge to say that a win is a win. There's always that urge to say that winning in the NFL is hard and that most games in the NFL are close and so on and so on and so on. But today didn't really feel like that, did it? Today did not really feel like that. Seahawks win 18-16. They need a 56-yard field goal with less than 20 seconds left to eke it out. They don't score a touchdown the entire game. They don't force a turnover until the final 10 seconds. I don't know, man. That was a weird one, and we're going to have to spend some time here on this one here. But right now what I want to say is that if you're a Seahawks fan, I think your feelings, by and large, are going to be pretty valid. That one was tough to watch. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you about Sleeper, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on sports games in real time with other users. You can get the fastest scores, blazing fast sports news and sports alerts right at your fingertips. And of course, you can use Sleeper to play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. This is the way sports were meant to be enjoyed together. So download Sleeper today. Use promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. And you can pair that with another promo they have right now where you can get a $20 entry free with no deposit required. So get both of those things going. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. So check out Sleeper today. Get to it and go have some fun with sports this year. So let's start with the good stuff, man. Let's start with the good stuff. Special teams. Jason Myers, I mean, my God. Game of his life. Game of almost any kicker's life. 6 for 6, including multiple 50-yard field goals. Every point we scored. You don't get much better than that. I think I remember one game where Rob Brunius kicked 7 out of 7 in a game. But 6 out of 6, that's a franchise record. And we needed every bit of it. So we got that. I don't think Dixon had a great game, but it was an okay game. Myers also did some pretty good work as a on kickoffs. Most of his kickoffs were good. Kickoff coverage was pretty decent. So special teams, hey, they're handing out wings right now, people. Shaheed's got to stop fair catching stuff inside the 10-yard line, but other than that, man, I mean, that part of the team, those guys are aces. Defense, look, it was a weird game. It was a frustrating game. The Colts did have some success early running the ball. Taylor had early success. He grinded out some pretty good carries in this game. And while Phillip Rivers didn't really have, I don't think you'd call it a good game, it was not a mess of a game. It was not a huge train wreck of a game. It was an okay game. It was a workable game. And I don't think that's what we as Seahawks fans were expecting when this game kicked off. I just don't. We're at home in an open-air stadium. Rivers just came off the couch less than a week ago. You're expecting sacks. You're expecting turnovers. You're expecting negative plays. And honestly, while the Colts offense was bad, and while 16 points is a good game for any defense in the NFL, they stayed on time. Phillip Rivers got sacked one time, and it was a play where he literally fell down. There were some negative runs, but not a ton. A lot of them just kind of, even on the plays that don't work that well, they're still grinding out 3 yards or so. So they're keeping the drive moving. Rivers was able to hit some checkdowns to keep drives alive and convert on 3rd and short. Checkdowns to Abdullah, which were, I don't want to say they were killing us, but they were a problem. And Rivers even had a couple of nice throws down the field. He hit Tyler Warren on a seam route, a 17-yarder. There was the sideline, not a go ball, but it was like a sideline one-on-one ball to, I want to say Josh Downs or Alec Pierce that were converted. And again, it took 59 minutes and 50 seconds for this team to get an interception. So It was not what I signed up for. And that doesn't mean it was bad. Big shout out to Nick Imanwari, who was great today. I thought Leonard Williams was great today. I thought we got a little more than we've been used to this year from Mafe. And I am going to say one thing. Part of the problem to my eye today from watching this game, and remember, I did the watch along, but part of the problem today, in my opinion, was Riley Mills was getting driven out of the hole over and over and over again. He was getting driven back off the ball. First NFL game, I'm not ragging on Riley Mills specifically, but in a game that ended up being this close, and a game where we really needed to take away the run, Riley Mills probably didn't need to be out there. You know, you try it, you experiment, you hope he can get out there in garbage time just to get his feet wet, but we gave him meaningful, impactful snaps, and I thought he was bad. Not saying he is bad, but needed to probably have a shorter leash on Mills. So that was one problem. I think that if that did not happen, this game probably would have gone a little bit better. We probably would have had this game sewn up late instead of desperately scrambling to kick a 56-yard field goal to eke it out. So that was part of the problem. Hopefully that never happens again. Like, at the end of the day, Mills is nice, but you can't have him out there for rundowns. He's a pass rusher. He's not known for his run defense. So if you're putting him out there against this Colts team, it's not surprising that you get what you get. Other than that, though, look, I guess there's something to be said for the fact we didn't get beat downfield. The biggest play the Colts offense had was the 17-yarder to Tyler Warren. And there is something there, but we didn't need to do that. We didn't need to take that away. It felt like that whole game, like, everybody knew what the game plan for the Colts was going to be. Throw it short, get it out of Rivers' hands quickly, let him check it down, use the backs, use the tight ends, keep everything within 15 yards of the line of scrimmage, and run the ball over and over and over again, no matter what. Taylor, Abdullah, everybody. And it didn't feel like the Seahawks game plan for that, and that's my big problem here. I don't feel like McDonald game plan for these Colts. This is a very unique situation that the Colts find themselves in. It did not feel like a very unique game plan. It felt like a customary run-of-the-mill generic game plan against any generic NFL team. And you did end up having a good game by the numbers. The Colts had 200, not even 220 yards of offense, about 215. They had 215 yards of offense and 16 points. Normally, you're ecstatic about that. And I understand that the team wants to play low variance. They just want to get in there, win, get out. They don't want to risk it. But what is the risk, really, playing aggressively and tight and not giving cushion when you're playing Phillip Rivers, who, by the way, he did do some things well today, but that ball flutters like crazy. That is the least zip I've seen on a ball since Tim Tebow. That is the least zip I've seen since Uncle Rico. I'm sorry, but there was a different way to play that game defensively, and we didn't do it. We didn't do it. There was an opportunity for the defense to take over the game. I don't even think the defense controlled the game. They ended up having a good game. They did not feel in control to me at all. So, not a terrible game, not a bad game even, but, man, Ernest Jones, I think, got beat up a little bit in coverage, and it is a keen reminder that while he is doing a great job this year, he's not a stellar cover player. He's just not. And there are going to be games like that. Josh Jobe, I know he had a bad game. I know a lot of people are beating up on him. I do not hate Josh Jobe the way some people seem to. It was a bad game. His main problem is that he's just not as good as the other players on this defense. He's not as good as Woolen. He's not as good as Witherspoon. So teams target him more than they target the other guys. They're scared of the other guys. They don't want to target Witherspoon or Woolen. They're even starting to be scared of Imanwari because he gets his hand on so many balls. So Jobe is just the guy they're going to go at, and it's not that big of an indictment on Jobe. So I'm not really on that wagon. To me, when I'm looking at guys to be annoyed at right now, maybe, again, the Riley Mills thing I think was the main problem, and that's not really a player problem. That's I think, a coaching problem. He shouldn't have been on the field very much, if at all, in a game like this. And Other than that, there were a couple missed opportunities, right? Like, I'm thinking about that sideline ball to Alec Pierce on the second to last drive where the Colts kicked the 60-yarder. You had, and Job had every opportunity to knock that ball down. I understand that that one's going to live in people's minds for the next couple of weeks here, and it's going to be very hard for Job to outrun a play like that. But I don't know. I don't know. To me, it's just a matter of what was the game plan. I'm not too mad at any of the players. What was the game plan? And then we have the offense. And then we're talking about Sam Darnold. We're talking about Clint Kubiak, talking about Ken Walker. Just a big dud in a moment where the season could have gotten away from us a little bit. Right? And the only thing I can say, and I think this had to be at play here. There's no way you play that poorly without this being in play. I think the Seahawks were looking ahead to the Rams. I do think that on some level, they were not thinking very hard about this game. They were thinking about the Rams. And part of me is maybe a little sympathetic towards that. But there's another part of me that is like, look, that Rams game does not mean that much if you do not win this game. And I saw laziness. I saw lackadaisical effort. And when I say that, I'm mostly talking about the offense. I'm not completely absolving the defense. I definitely noticed how the Colts were able to lean on us in the run game and fall forward constantly. So I'm not here to act like everything is great on that side of the ball, but mostly offensively, that was a sleepwalk of a game. And there's hardly anybody to not criticize right now. I would say JSN, even with the one really bad drop, and it was a very bad drop, had a great game, doing what he's always does. Love him. Shaheed, I think, had a pretty great game offensively, so maybe those two guys are out. I don't know about the rest. Man. Walker, I don't get the sense that he's tremendously to blame here, but we're talking about less than 2 yards a touch. I was talking Walker up earlier this year for having some of the best numbers of his career. That's about to go out the door here. He's not doing anything. He's got like 50 total yards over the last 2 games. His yards per touch average has gone way down with just 2 games, and it was in a very good place. So I don't get the sense that he's necessarily to blame for everything. There are some plays where maybe he dances a little bit too much, but not good. Charbonnet, a little bit more productive with the ball in his hands, but I'm saying this right now, this is not tenable if he does not run pass block. If Charbonnet is not a pass blocker, if Charbonnet cannot effectively pass block, then what is he worth in this league? One of the things that makes Charbonnet a good player is the fact that he's great on third down, receiving and blocking. He has been a disaster blocking this year, and today was probably the worst game of his career. Could not pick up a blitz at all. So there's that. Cooper Kupp, good game. Did some good stuff, made some nice plays. I'm not saying it was bad, but I did notice that final drive where we had a chance to get a touchdown to basically end the game and make sure there was no drama in the last 3 minutes. He may have run a bad route. I'm not sure, but that was the kind of play where we needed Cooper Kupp to just get to his zone, sit down, and catch the ball that basically ends the game. And I'm not sure if Kupp ran a bad route or if Darnold threw a bad ball. It could go either way, but it's at least arguable that Kupp owns responsibility there. And Barner, the penalty, man, that was a momentum flipping penalty. That was a 15-yard gain on second down. We're getting a drive going. We're moving towards midfield, and you line up offsides. Completely kills the drive. We may as well punt at that point. 2nd and 15, you may as well punt with this offense right now. But then you get to the big ones, right? Sam Darnold. You guys know that I have been pretty positive on Sam Darnold this year. I've been pretty high on Sam Darnold. I think that he's playing really well. I still do. But there are things going on here, man. And today he was inaccurate, I thought. I thought he was really inaccurate. A lot of really bad misses. I think that you look at, what was it, like that last throw to Shaheed in the end zone. That should be a game-icing touchdown, and he just throws it behind him. I think he threw it behind him on a couple other plays. There still isn't that great connection with Shaheed yet, although he is getting better. There were some other inaccurate passes and just kind of slow decision making. I'm seeing the Colts send the house on many plays early in this game. They're sending 6, 7 guys, putting 6, 7 guys in the box. Maybe on one play, maybe it was even 8. And Darnold gets the ball, has a little bit of time. He does. Don't tell me he doesn't. It's not a lot, but it's a reasonable amount of time for a team that is looking at that kind of a overload blitz. And he just doesn't get it out fast enough. I find it very hard to believe a team that has JSN, maybe the best receiver in football, and Rashid Shaheed, one of the fastest players in the sport, is not getting anybody open. And Cooper Kupp, who has built a whole career out of understanding how to get open against zone. So, not good. It feels like Darnold is maybe getting solved a little bit. I know that he's elite against man and mediocre at best against zone. So maybe there's a thing going on where teams have just realized to sit in zone and he doesn't know what to do. Maybe, possibly. But it's getting frustrating, man. He had a couple opportunities to ice the game and he didn't get them. He did make some good throws in this game. The drive where we kicked the 56-yarder to win the game was great. Obviously, it was only just through two pretty routine throws, but he made them. So I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm not here to completely dump on him, but I'm starting to align myself a tiny bit more with the people who are frustrated than I was before. But to me, Kubiak is kind of the big story here. I thought he had a terrible game. We can't run the ball at all. Nobody on this offensive line can sustain in run blocking whatsoever. So naturally, we keep running it. I think we had one drive where we went run, punt. When the passing game, while it was flawed, it was doing leagues better. There were actually good things happening with the running game, with the passing game. I think we probably stuck to the run too long. And then at the end of the game, it felt like we had to completely abandon it because there was nothing else to do. And I'm going to say it again. How do you have guys like JSN, Rashid Shaheed, and I'll even throw Cooper Kupp and AJ Barner in there, and play after play after play, nobody gets open? Is there a disconnect between him and Darnold? Is there a disconnect between him and the receivers? Is it just the player's fault? It's hard for me to really speculate, but that was the first time this year since week 1, really, where I was just sitting there thinking to myself, I don't know what this offense is. I don't know if this offense has any, I don't know what this offense has. I don't know what to say about what I'm looking at right now. But for me, this was a little bit of a wake-up call to what this offense is right now. I just think about it like this, guys. Charvarius Ward and Sauce Gardner are out, and Darnold just had an okay game. Those two guys, the top 2 corners on Indy, the corners that they were building their defense around, are out. They have backups out there, and somehow the passing attack is just kind of whatever. You're not even attacking it as much as you should, and when you are, it's not going as well as you would think. So something's got to change a little bit there. Either we got to start running the ball better so we can balance the offense, or we just need to embrace what we are. And I've talked about this running game for a few weeks now, talking about how it's getting better. The last 2 weeks have been a big disappointment. Other than that, referees, that was atrocious. We had some atrocious refereeing in this game. They wanted to give Phillip Rivers that storybook ending, and I got heated today. I was as heated as I have been in a long time about sports. Between the referees trying to hand the game to the Colts and the Colts trying to injure JSN after a play was over at the end of the half, I was ready to go to the mattresses at the end of that game. I was ready in that third quarter to just go, okay, you know what? We're dragging you down with me. If you're going to make us lose this game because of BS, and you're going to go after our best player after the play is over, then you know what? We can play that game too. Baseball, they throw at my players. I'm throwing at your players. I was ready to go. Luckily, the best revenge is to live well, and we're going to live well because we won. And while the Colts did play very well today, hard to believe they're going to actually be able to salvage their season. So again, sometimes you just need to live well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Got another stream on YouTube to do later tonight. My voice is shot because I streamed for 4 hours almost yesterday. I streamed for over 3 hours today. I did the stream on the Bleacher Report just now, and I'm going to do another stream later, so I am beat up. But Seahawks win, 11-win season. I think technically we have not clinched a playoff spot, but we're going to make the playoffs. We are. We're making the playoffs. After today, I cannot say with full confidence what we're going to do then after we make it, but I'm very confident in at least that little bit. All right, go Hawks. Let me know what you guys think. And look, I have been pushing back pretty aggressively against people that have gotten down on this team in recent weeks, but I don't know if I'm going to do that this week because it seems valid. All right, go Hawks. See you guys soon.